So I want us to look at this. These are what we call fundamentals. Now, I want to be straightforward. I didn't invent this thing. I read it up somewhere in the book. But given how fascinated and mind-opening it was for me, I've decided to share it with you. And the reason for doing this is not because I've perfected myself, but because I want to perfect it myself. And also as well to help you adapt to it, because literally I did my own research after reading this, and only to realize that every single person I've ever admired, every single person I think I would at some point like to be like them, perhaps or even better than them, at least they have this in existence. You can easily track, okay? You can easily track their record. So here are 5 buckets, according to this book here. For easy understanding, the writer referred to them as buckets. But I'm going to try to explain it in just a minute so that you can really understand what it's all about. So the principles are, these buckets must be filled, but not just filled, but must be filled in order, okay? And the number 1 principle is, don't dare leave one bucket empty, then go to the next one, fill the next one. For example, if we are talking about this first bucket here, you can't leave this first bucket empty and then you say you start from here and then think the cycle will be complete. No, you have to start here, make it full, then you can proceed to the next one, make it full, then proceed to the next one. So by you filling this one, skipping this, and then filling this one, you'll be forced to come back at some point in life. You'll be forced to come back and fill this bucket before you can continue. And that's very important. That means be patient enough to actually fill each bucket in the right order. By so doing, you never have to come back to first fill what you left empty. That's principle number 1. Then principle number 2. Principle number 2 is the patience that takes along with this journey. You have to be patient. You have to be patient to actually work upon yourself through all the different stages. At each stage of the bucket, make sure you're patient enough, make sure you're determined, make sure you are committed to actually fill the bucket itself, because there are so many things that are going to put you away. But if you're committed, you'll find yourself filling these buckets in order. So here we start. Number 1, bucket number 1. What do you know, or what you know? What you know, we can refer to it as knowledge. Knowledge. So bucket number 1, what you know. If you're to look around people, those you call successful, those you call millionaires, those you call rich and wealthy, respected people, they always have this. They always have the knowledge. And the question is, how do they acquire the knowledge? That's where I'm challenging you, that you should be able to seek this knowledge, because it doesn't come naturally. No one is born with the knowledge, they just seek it, okay? So if you're born and you were lucky to go to school to have the formal education, that's good enough. Continue with it, pursue it, and ensure that you have enough knowledge of the field you want to actually become an expert in. The knowledge is very fundamental. If you do not like to have the formal education as such, still seek for the knowledge in the particular field that you want to become a master. Okay, so definitely the knowledge is very, very important. Without the knowledge, all this is wasted. Literally, if you don't have the knowledge, there is no way you can go ahead and fill these other buckets. But if you fill the bucket of knowledge, all this is guaranteed. Things will flow. Then bucket number 2, we are being asked what you can do. What you can do. Here we can simplify it as skills. Skills. So bucket number 2, what can you do, or what you can do, we are referring to skills. Remember, in bucket 1, you did research, you did learn, take time, you are patient enough and committed to acquire the knowledge. In bucket number 2, for you to fill this bucket, you need to actually base on this one here, because it's the knowledge you're going to apply, maybe in internship, maybe at some work you've been offered. Practice until you get the skill. You see that? So by having the foundation of knowledge, seeking the knowledge, you're able now to apply the knowledge and gain the skill. Once this bucket is full, then you can move on to the 3rd bucket. The 3rd bucket says who you know. Who you know. This we can summarize it as connection. We can summarize this as connection. Very important there. Very important. One of these days you hear people tell you, you need to be connected to achieve this, you need to be connected, you need to be connected to get a job. But honestly, you cannot come from nowhere and get connected, no? It's only those people who have followed through this, they have gotten the knowledge, they have applied the knowledge, they have been practicing maybe in an internship for some time. Through practicing at maybe your intern intern area, you're able to get friends, you're able to get contacts, your heads, your supervisors seeing your skills, and those are the very people who become your connections, okay? So by following up through this, at bucket number 3, you have what we call connections, and they are the right connections. Very important there. You might have friends, a lot of friends, but are they the right connections for you? That's a question to ask yourself. So as you can see, the buckets are flowing in order. That's why I told you principle number 1, you can't skip one and think you will succeed. You'll be forced to actually pursue the other. So stage number 3, bucket number 3, you have connections. Now let's look at number 4, because with the connections you can easily achieve number 4. What are they saying? What you have. What you have. Listen, what you have, we can refer to this as resources. What are resources? These could be tangible, this could be maybe assets, or anything that you have in your possession that can help you actually live a better life, make more money, achieve your dreams. Resources. But let me take you back. Do you realize that if you have the knowledge, you have applied the knowledge and you've gotten the skills, through practicing the knowledge and getting the skills, you've got the connections, and through these connections here, all these become your resources, number 1, okay? These connections, these skills, they are your immediate resources, and you can easily apply the resources to use. For example, you have connections, you can easily ask for recommendations, maybe to their places of work, something like that. You can easily ask for the knowledge, you can easily ask for, a lot of stuff. The resources are very paramount. You need resources to be able to achieve the next stage. But it all comes back here. Through knowledge, skills, connections, you can have the resources. You can have the resources. Now, after stage number 4, what you have with the resources, we can now proceed to number 5. Bucket number 5 demands you, or asks you, what do they think of you? What do they think of you? What does the society think of you? I can summarize this as reputation. As reputation. So, at stage number 5, you are literally looking at, after going through all these stages, you've now matured with the knowledge, skills, connections, resources. What does society look out for you? Like, why do they consider you valuable? Why do they consider you as someone important in society? Or simply, what do they think of you? When they mention your name somewhere, what do they think of you? Now, let me tell you this. If you can achieve this, have the knowledge, apply the skills to get connections. After getting the connections, you have the resources with you. With these resources, you've built a reputation. There is nowhere you can't go. There is nowhere in this world or in any office you can't go. If you're a master of your craft, you've gone through, mastered the knowledge, gotten the skills, you've gotten, the connections. After the connections, you've gotten the resources, and then you have the reputation for that particular skill that you have decided to become a master of. There is no office you can't go. I can give you examples of people who have crafted this. Let's look at the world's richest man. Elon Musk. Do you think he has the knowledge? Definitely he has. He has taught himself the science of rocket science. He has taught himself entrepreneurship skills. So he's a master of his craft when it comes to building spacecraft rockets. He's a master of himself. That's why he's the chief engineer at SpaceX. So definitely he has this score. And this bucket is, we can perhaps say it is full. If it is full, what you can do, or what is he able to do with the knowledge of maybe building spacecrafts and all that? He has demonstrated that he can apply this knowledge to have the best company when it comes to space exploration. He has built rockets that have broken records. That means through the knowledge he has filled this bucket with the skill. Okay? After having this, done a lot of stuff, he comes here. Who you know? Let me ask you a question. What do you think? Or how many? Let me ask you this question in simple terms. Elon Musk, who does he know? It's a question that should open up your mind. Who does Elon Musk know? Right now, he sits in the Oval Office, the office meant to be the office for the President of the United States of America. This guy can enter that office with his little boy, and he has his time there. Okay? Now, connections come in. Because of this, he's able to access anywhere. He associates with the presidents. He actually, one of these days, speaks to other countries, other presidents of other countries, as if he's the president of the United States. But why? Because he has crafted these two. Okay? Now, he has the connections. What does he have? We call resources. I'll go ahead and finish up with this. What does Elon Musk have in terms of resources? Because he worked upon his knowledge, he worked upon his skills, he has garnered the connections. How many resources does he have? I can give you an example. Today, Elon Musk could wake up and tell you know what, I have an idea, okay? Because they think he has all these, he has the knowledge, the skills, the connections. If he came out and said, you know what, I have an idea, I'm going to build maybe device X that will be able to do this, and this. I want you people to give me your money so that I can make this idea come true. Do you know how many investors, literally multi-billion companies that would be willing to fund his idea? Here we are, resources. Because you worked upon these buckets, you literally have everything. You don't need to struggle to find money to do a lot of stuff. Here we are. So by so doing, mastering all these 3 buckets or filling those 3 buckets, you have every kind of resource. He can literally walk to President Trump right now and tell him, I want you to help sign now to this because I need this to be achieved. And we've seen it happen. Today, he has that department that he's handling now called DOACEO, where he's literally accessing every kind of information, every kind of resources he's required to perform because they believe in him. And why do they believe in him? These 3 first buckets. So from here, where does he stand in terms of reputation? The world recognizes Elon Musk as the richest man, but not only that, as someone exceptional. Some people look at him as their savior, literally. Right now, you see a lot of Americans thinking, you know what, we trust you more than we trust our government. I've seen those tweets, I've seen those comments on Twitter, where Americans are saying, you know what, over the years, the presidents have been this, and this, and literally with your DOACEO department, we taxpayers can trust you more than we trust our government. One man is being trusted by the entire nation rather than the entire nation trusting the entire government they voted into power. Because literally Elon Musk wasn't voted, he was just appointed, but he's taking over in terms of trust. So you can literally see, and if you can reach here for a certain skill or a certain field, and you have achieved all the 3 buckets, you can become a master of it over again, become even more advanced in terms of research. But if you want, you can also add on another field. Go for another field. You see, maybe this is for business. You did this and became an expert in business. It's okay. After that, maybe go back to this and seek maybe in terms of diplomatic relations, communication, become a master of that as well. Go through this cycle, gather knowledge on how to communicate, gather knowledge on what you can do with your skills, who comes to you, who do you connect with. Through that, you can also complete that field as a good communicator. Then after that, if you think you've mastered this, you've reached this place, go back and pursue something else. You see, it's so amazing. That's why I really couldn't hold back sharing with you this. And personally, I'll give you my own story at some point, how this really affected me, because it literally changed the way I look at life. It changed the way I look at things. And literally one time, very soon, I will tell you how this the 5 fundamentals affected me. So literally this guy, Steve Bartlett, I've not even finished his book, but this alone can guarantee you success if you can only follow this up. So with that said, let me show you the best. Let me hope you can take a leaf 1 or 2 from here. And also don't forget to share with your friends, because I think this is pretty good, especially for the youth that are still growing, those who are so interested in so many things and they don't know what to do, choosing careers, how to focus on one career so that you can become an expert. Here we are, the cycle is here. Hope you share this with a friend and make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I intend to bring on board several of these kind of videos. Peace. Let me see you in the next one.